criminal defense experience. There's no question that Mr. Janer has more than I do. He has most certainly defended more of the Bay County criminal cases than probably just about anybody. So if that is the thing that is most important to you, who has the most criminal defense experience, you should vote for Mark Janer. Okay, if instead what you're interested in is who has the most diversity of experience, who's done prosecution, who has done civil law, who has done landlord-tenant and small claims and traffic, who has been your judge since June 1st, then the question tilts towards me, and your vote should go with me.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. No, you're both district court. That's good. We'll have Martin go. My apologies.
It's true that Jen Barnes and I worked together, but Jen's not going to give you, at least at this point, numbers of people that she's represented, and because it's not even close. And it's true, 25 years of doing criminal defense work, as I said 5 to 10,000. It's probably closer to 10 than it is to the 5. So I have a lot more experience. I'm also 54 years old, and I believe you want women's age, but 38? 8, okay. So I've got 16 years on her, up on that alone. And Ms. Barnes has nowhere near the community involvement that I have. She hasn't been in the community as long as I have, or anywhere near the things that I've accomplished. And you know, I feel uncomfortable almost bragging on some of the things that I've been able to do, but I have been involved in our Catholic schools in 22 years of development for them and fundraising for our schools. I've raised over $2 million with the help of others to do that because I wanted that presence. She's not been able to accomplish that. She hasn't been here to do that. But I have that. I mean, and also the connections with this community. This is my community of choice. This is where I chose to raise my 5 kids. And I believe that they're going to make a mark on this community. They have already, okay? And I think that's probably, they'll say it's because of my wife more than me, but I hope I've helped. I'm going to tell you about Ms. Barnes, where I think that she has a, she has a very good trial appearance. She has done very well in trial. The limited trial she's done well. You can tell here, she has very good appearance. She is stage ready, okay? For some of us, that takes some time to get there, but she got there very early, okay? So she has that presence.
Time.
Thank you.
I guess I guess the question is, what are my strong abilities and what are his, correct?
What sets you apart, and then what is something strong about your?
All right, well, definitely the age sets us apart. I mean, there's no question that, you know, there's a good, and that's a positive. It's actually a positive. I have 14 years of experience in the legal profession. I've done a vast variety of things. So I'm obviously well-rounded in those areas. And the great thing about this is if I do get in, or when I get in, I look at it from a standpoint that I will be able to implement programs. I will have time to implement those programs, and that's a positive. That is a positive. Also, I feel I'm a very independent individual, and I've always been that way. I was independent when I left a really good firm and decided to go out on my own because I wanted to be with the community that I grew up with and loved, and that was important to me. Now, as far as Harry goes, I really can't sit here and say, oh, he's a terrible person or anything like that. I would be lying, and that's not right. I've known Harry as long as I've been practicing, and he does have the experience. He does have experience in his areas that he does, and he's a very good lawyer, and that I can state. However, I do feel I'm a very good lawyer too, and I think I would make an even better judge. Thank you.
I like and respect Darren Nichols, and I don't think a question asking for somebody to point out a weakness is, in my judgment, appropriate, so I'm not going to address that. I'm here to talk about why I think I'm qualified for the job. I gave you an outline of my credentials. I think that I have proven over 33 years of practice, really a lifetime, that I do have the skills as a very good lawyer. I think I've shown a very good judgment through the many clients that I've serviced over those years. And I think I have a very good work ethic and temperament. I think the bar survey that I pointed out to you a few minutes ago is really a report card on my career. And I offer that to you for consideration, but who's most qualified isn't our decision, it is yours.
Okay, the next question will also be given 2 minutes in terms of answering. And on the question of community involvement, because I think all of you have highlighted in ways in which you're involved in the community. In terms of the specific courtroom that you would possibly be a judge in after November, what are specific challenges that you think a judge will be facing that's specific to that courtroom that you think you should have the experience and do have the experience to deal with effectively? Does everybody understand the question? Okay, 2 minutes will be given, and we'll start on the other side. Mr. Gill, did you want to go first? Okay.
I believe that one challenge that faces the circuit court in Bay City, in Bay County, is the lack of treatment courts. Some of you have attended other forums and have heard this discussed, but treatment courts deal with the reasons that people find themselves in trouble with the law. Drugs, alcohol, mental illness, often a combination of the three. And that's what gets them into trouble. And we don't have a system in the circuit court other than normal probation to deal with that. The district court has a drug court, which is primarily an alcohol court, where, but the idea behind these treatment courts is to, in cases where probation is an alternative, to link the probation to the problem that's brought the person into trouble, whether it's mental illness or whether it's drugs or alcohol or a combination. They get into counseling, they get into therapy, there are even inpatient programs. And if I'm elected, that would be one area that I would work very hard to implement in Bay County. It isn't just up to the judge or the judges. You need cooperation from the prosecutor, and you need funding. But those sources of funding are available, and the data in other areas where these programs have been implemented are encouraging in terms of more people come out of the system able to have a productive life and not have problems with the law again. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
One of the main reasons why I decided to run for circuit court was involving the family court, which is a major, major part of the circuit court. We deal with divorces, we deal with custody issues and support issues. That is what a circuit court judge will have to do. And it's a very subjective area. We follow best interests of the child scenarios. The problem is the courts are falling behind. The judges that are in there need to step up to the plate and not bog down the front of the court and start making some decisions. And I'm not saying the judges that are in there now are the worst or that there's problems, but I'm just saying this is an area that needs to really be looked at. As a divorce lawyer, as a custody lawyer, I deal with this stuff on a constant basis, and I see families that are torn apart where one side might say one thing, the other side might say the other, and no one really listens. And a judge needs to listen. They need to sit down with with the parties, actually put things together to determine the best interest of that child.